Hello people, the YouTubers. My name is ajuba, but today I'm going to be playing some Hypixel Skywars, and I'm going to be explaining something I don't even know. So, it coordinates to school. So this year, at school, our school decided to issue everybody a Chromebook, which I think you guys know what a Chromebook is. It's just a laptop, and they were all issued because the school got a large amount of grant money over the summer. And the school's like, oh, this is a good idea. This will help our students with their productivity and everything. And when the Chromebooks were first issued, it was confusing, but everything's kind of been solved. There are a lot of problems caused by the Chromebooks, but the majority of it's been solved. Well, the only problem with these Chromebooks is the fact that the school has been planning all year to use them for state testing. Well, our school server can only handle about 700, 800 students at once, and there's 2,000 students at our school. But the school district planned that they're only going to have 6th grade test one day, 7th grade test the other, and 8th grade test the next. So while they were getting it set up, our Chromebooks had to be logged on to a private server. Clean up, I dare you. Oh no, you're going to kill steal. Aren't you a greatly skilled player? So, our Chromebooks had to be logged onto a private server, which is understandable because cheating on state testing's a really big... Cheating at our school is a big problem, and to cheat on state testing would mean, like, immediate expulsion from the district, and it's understandable that the school wanted to do it so privately and everything. The problem was when they tried to move us all over to the original server, the school district, the school itself didn't properly explain when they were supposed to be moving over. So all the 6th and 7th graders tried to move her over at the same time. Well, this caused a bunch of the 8th graders to not, about 300 8th graders, to not be able to properly log into the server. And due to the fact that they couldn't log into the server, they had to come, all the deans had to come around, they had to help like every single student get logged into the right server before testing day. And then comes Tuesday testing day, everybody goes to their first period class, and you were supposed to stay in your first period class all day long. And so you could, because it was an all-day test, and we have to do this 3 weeks consecutively. Well, the problem was, because nobody logged into the proper server and did it the right way, on Tuesday, about 400 8th graders couldn't get into their test. So the school thought it'd be a fantastic idea that, oh, these 8th graders can't get into their test, let's just take all the 8th graders who can in and put them in manually. I'm kind of just running around here because I want to explain this. I know I can kill the last guy easily. So they pushed everybody in manually, but all these kids who were still taking their test, for every person they pushed on, it kicked off like 4 people. So I was one of the last people to get kicked off. I got like 30 of the 40 questions on the test done in like 40 minutes, and it kicked me off, and I was like, oh, that sucks. And I didn't lose my progress according to what happened today, but because of this, they had to completely cancel testing for the day, try and figure it out. Then during 5th period yesterday, because we just went around to our normal schedules, they decided to log everybody in manually, but take everybody out and then log them all back in manually. Well, my class was one of the first classes for this to be tested on, and they never logged anybody out. They only tried to push them back in manually. Because they were already on the server, this never worked, and caused almost half the students to not be able to do their testing, and to not be logged in properly. So today there was about 200 8th graders of the 600 who weren't able to... about 600 who weren't able to test properly due to the school. Well, but all the kids that were able to test properly, they're like, oh crap, we can't cancel this again. So they just completely canceled testing for everybody else and now we're not allowed to leave the classroom, we're not allowed to use electronics, we're not allowed to do anything. We had like a set amount, like group of things we were allowed to do, and see you in the next scene. Okay, so as I was saying, I was one of the 200 or so kids that wasn't able to test, and I had to sit there for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and I went farmer and I got iron pants things. So I had to sit there for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd period, and 4th period, just doing nothing because I did all my work super quick. So 3.5 hours of me just not being able to do anything because this state testing is so regulated, and it's almost annoying how regulated it is, because it causes a lot of problems when it doesn't go as planned. Yeah, I'm not surprised this kid killed the other one. So it causes a lot of problems when nothing goes as planned, like it did today. And this is why today, after everything went wrong and I wasn't able to test, we go to lunch. I'm not able to take my phone to lunch, so I can't text my mom or tell her anything. I come back and they say, my teacher calls all the kids who weren't able to test it, and she's like, okay, they don't know how to fix what's wrong, so you guys are just going to go sit in the little theater because our school doesn't have a real theater, and you're essentially not going to do anything for the rest of the day. And everybody would think, yeah, cool, but I kind of wanted to take my test and just get it over with, because it didn't work on Tuesday. They just completely canceled it on Tuesday. Now on Wednesday, there's this group of like now 30 or so kids, because they just forced everybody else into a computer lab that can't test. And these kids now are like anxious because they're like, oh, these tests are a big deal. I wanted to get these done and now we can't. So I went to the little theater and they're like, oh, and the principal comes in, she's like, I'm so sorry guys, is there anything we can go do for you? And we're like, yeah, bring me the... And she brought us some food and some board games, because that's what we asked for, and then we just played on our Chromebooks, which are supposed to be working at this point, and they aren't. So now, which is tomorrow, is take your kid to work day, so like a bunch of kids are going to be absent tomorrow because it's like a really big statewide thing that's like really popular, and all the teachers bring their kids to work. Well, because of this, I just didn't get to take it today. I texted my mom like, hey mom, I'm not going to be doing anything, can you come pick me up? It's like the only time I've ever been picked up from class like this. She's like, yeah, sure, I guess. I almost teleported right into that, oh my god. And I was like, yeah, I'm just not doing anything. And now, like, I'm pretty upset because, you know, I was supposed to be testing today. I kind of troll this kid. Okay, he's actually critting me out. Oh. So I was supposed to be testing today and I didn't get to, and now I have to miss all of my classes tomorrow and test tomorrow, which is just so annoying because, oh my god, I'm gonna be so behind on work because of me missing everything. And even though there's a lot of kids missing everything, it's just a lot to catch up on. So that's the blunder that was state testing this year. Watch me go look at the recording, and my microphone hasn't recorded, so I approve this message, and adios.